I'm a coach. I'm a coach of men that are looking to find what's next or what's different, what can be different in their lives. So I've been told that I need to tell my story, and this is it. Born and raised in Northeast Ohio, come from a blue collar family. Mom drove school bus. Stepdad worked in a water department of a local city. Raised, you know, in no regard can I complain about my life, how I was raised. Mother and stepdad did everything they could to provide for the three children that they had. And, you know, standard high school upbringing, went to vocational school and was learning carpentry. That's what I was going to be. That's what I was going to do for a living when I graduated high school. It's what I'd always wanted to be, was work with my hands, working, building things. For reasons really that I can't have an explanation for or don't have an explanation for, I joined the United States military, joined the Air Force. Left for the Air Force at age 18. Through the next 9.5 years, got married to my first wife, had two daughters, and at the age of 28, left the Air Force to start back in the civilian world. And through that experience, I gained what is the career that I'm in. I've been working in IT for the past 32 years, and it's served me well. Through that time, I, went through a divorce when I was 35, and then met who is now my wife. Got married again at 40, and have continued down this path of, what I feel as if it was a life lived. I sort of explain it as I have sort of sat in a canoe in a river, no paddle in hand, no plan, and sort of went with the water. And if I'd bounce off a rock and it would take me to one side, I just went with it. There really wasn't a discussion or a thought on where my life was going. And, unbeknownst to me, and it's something that I can think back on now, but I pretty much have spent from around age 40-ish, 43-ish, really being very, very dissatisfied and truly feeling that there is something more to be had, something more to be, something more to life. I found myself many times angry, frustrated, sad, sitting at a desk feeling as if I had more to give, just did not know how that would turn out. And, through, trials and tribulations, through trying different things. So I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna flip some houses. That's gonna do it. That's gonna make me feel as if I'm on my way. Knowing full well that if I decided I was going to get out of the IT career, which I was, sure that I needed to do, very late, not having done it yet, and deciding that I had to move. I had to do what I had to do to get out of working in this career that I just didn't fit in. And so, I went down the path and figured out how to flip Clubhouse, get the funding, get private lending. Spent 3 years of my life doing that, spending time away from my wife, friends. A holiday to me was just an additional set of 8 to 10 hours that I could work on the house to keep it moving, to get it going. Through that process, had one success, one not such successful flip, and the process ended up being that, the reason I was doing it was because I wanted land. I wanted to be able to buy land. I wanted to build a house. That was my dream, to actually build this house. And through some I guess gyrations is the word I'd like to use, I ended up being able to purchase land. Purchased it with a private mortgage right at the beginning of COVID. And then through the next 3 years, did everything I could to improve the land. But then the problem is because COVID, the price of houses went through the roof and we couldn't build. So then came the time to accept that fate, that fact that we weren't going to be able to build. So, sold the land, did well on the sale of the land, got to be able to buy a home. And somewhere along that line of flipping houses, buying land, I just nothing was working. I was still show up to my job frustrated, still show up to my desk and say to myself, this is just not, there's something else. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but there's something else. And then I stumbled across the community, this community that I'm a member of, a community called GoBundance Emerge. And it felt as if it was something I absolutely had to do. I had to join this community. I had to take a chance on, at the age of 53, learning who I might possibly be. So I took that chance. And what has come from that is me realizing that I needed it. I needed the kickstart to move me forward. And through that process, I started, one of the pieces that I learned while flipping a house was I learned how to do epoxy countertops, and I was going to start that as a business. I knew leaving the IT world was going to be, I was going to do something blue collar. I was going to work with my hands. And through with that mindset, that idea in my mind, that path that I knew that I was destined to take, I started down that path of building that company, to building a booth, to getting samples, to taking, going to a couple trade shows, setting up, taking appointments, selling some jobs, putting it in. And what the realization came out of all that was, after a good 8-9 months of pushing to make that something, and with the help of a few members of the community of the community that I joined, the realization came that there was a lot of back end work to that business that I just it didn't speak to me. It didn't light me up. And yet, what I found more and more as I was more involved in the community, as I had gone to a couple events, as I actually started doing formal coaching, what I learned is that something that I've been doing off and on most of my life, not recognizing that I've been doing it most of my life, was coaching, was putting myself in a position to help people find who they truly are, putting myself in a position to help people learn how to find who they truly are. And over the past, it's been a year now, of actual coaching and diving into vision and values and goals, and reviewing all of those. What I realized is that me stopping the epoxy business, stopping the idea of working with my hands, and really having to come to realization that, hey, wait a minute, then who am I? If my identity is not tied to working with my hands, then what is it tied to? Who am I? What is my purpose? And what I had to do was take some time, do some journaling, do some meditating, and try to answer the question on why shutting down the epoxy business felt so right, when that was I truly believed I should be doing, was working with my hands, owning a house flipping business, owning an epoxy countertop business, something creative, something that I love to do. And I just found it amazingly stressful and not really speaking to me, when, as I was watching other folks coach and facilitate and speak and mentor, that lit me up. That really spoke to me, spoke to my very core of what I felt was my purpose. And so my where I've come in since February of 23, at the age of 54, I feel more me than I think I ever have. I have found great value in the relationships that I've built in the community. I have rethought and relooked at the relationship that I've had all my life with individuals. And I have found that I have not been the greatest steward of my marriage that I think I should be. And so, in no regard am I done. This is just the beginning of my journey. I don't believe that I ever will be done searching and expanding and growing. But what I do believe is I have found my actual purpose, and I'm working on finding my true identity. I know my values. I have rewritten a vision that speaks to me, and I have a purpose and a mission and a passion to help men that were in my position, that felt like they have done the things that society says they should be doing. And yet, at the end of it, at the point of realizing that they've reached everything they thought they should be doing, they are absolutely miserable, lost, feel stuck, unfulfilled. And maybe it's time that someone that identifies like that should take a chance to answer those questions. So my challenge now, and my challenge to you, is to figure out how I can give to those individuals that feel that it just needs to be one thing that starts them down that path. I would challenge you, if you've never done it, to write a vision. If you don't know how to do that, if you don't know what a vision is, I would love to provide that information to you and help. If there's any questions that you have that I could answer, that I could ask, please, put them in the comments. And I look forward to providing facilitation of your next life, of your next venture and stage in this world that we feel so inundated at times with information that we just potentially don't know what to do with it. So if interested, leave a comment, reach out to me, and as I always say, live life like you mean it.